Hi, I'm Shurabhi Raut and I'm a resident of Delhi. I've come across some grave animal abuse here, and I'm not sure if you've heard of this temple back in CP called Shani Mandir and Hanuman Mandir. There are a lot of monkeys over there. So I've been basically going through a lot of abuse since almost a decade. It's a parapsychological abuse done by four priests set in Himachal. Now these three priests, not four, three of them. Now they are fugitives to India, and they've taken the name of, and they basically run their temple on the Sanatan faith. But the kind of witchcraft that they've been doing witchcraft on me. They've been trying to abuse me through witchcraft against my queer individuality since almost a decade. My parents had reached out to them through our relatives for career and financial advices. There they got I don't know, manipulated uh, astrally, and they started focusing on. They started desiring me getting married to a man. So, and I was back in Bombay working. This was during 2016. Uh, and since I'm a queer individual, my parents, they've been homophobic, and they're progressive and everything that can come across it, and because of that, they're spiritually exhausted and suffering over the kind of abuse that I've been through. So, bottom line, whatever I came through, whatever I understood, and whatever culminated of me into as something due to this abuse is that my psychic abilities had been violated and manipulated, and yes, they've been violated. Uh, I've been parapsychologically sexually assaulted. That's basically through distant hypnosis. So there's one out of these three priests. There is this one priest who is super conscious about in terms of hypnosis, and he claims that he's been set up by uh, you know, uh, he's 40 years old, right? 40, 41, 42 years. He's been born and brought up in, I think, yeah, he's been born and brought up in Himachal. But he speaks, give me a second. Oh, yeah, I'm so sorry. So he's been born and brought up in Himachal, and he's been running the temple since almost 40 years now. And he holds psychic abilities to, I think, manipulate and violate as many individuals as he can. And through clinical, not clinical I will say, but through distant hypnosis, he does clinical hypnosis as well. But that clinical hypnosis basically comes with a lot of baggage for such people, because he does a lot of facial violation as well. He might be a victim of facial violence, but beyond all of that, he is very much gluttony and lust stricken, due to which the Hindu Dharma, the especially the gods, and he's a closeted feminine guy who's married to a woman. So his claim is extremely homophobic on me, and that's why the abuse that I've lived across these 10 years uh, by his brothers, used to do who used to treat my body as a voodoo doll, inflicting iron nails and everything. All of that due to my meditation, due to my clean belief and thought to recover and not do any kind of harm that should be first degree murder against everything that I've been doing, then taking a legal course to all of this and expose them, and put to human rights of what all they are and what all they've been doing. The repercussion of it has been the failure by the authorities or the legislature against listening to my case and treating it properly with care and sensitivity and everything, has been a lot of animal abuse by the same Sanatan faith, as an anger that counts down in Hindu faith to the ones who's the wrong and who's doing all the wrong, be it verbal, be it physical, be it thought based, conscience driven, let's say. So uh, what I've what I've observed is that every time I go to the Shani temple back in CP, or the Hanuman temple, and every time I'm in my prayers, since I am traumatized over everything that's been my course of life over these 10 years, and my thought system over which has been degraded by these men, uh, I see a lot of extraction, and uh, I see a lot of astral evil extraction from my head, so that I remain calm and lightheaded, and all the drama can be and I can completely forget the trauma, so that my muscle memory can help me regain my spine back, or help me feel my spine back. So in course of that, there are a lot of claims that in the legislative language go as accusations, and articles on those are to be read uh, to these people, to these three men. So every temple basically becomes a court for me, and I stand in prayers, and there uh, there's a lot of intuition about, not intuition I would say, but there's a lot of talk about, what were the accusations in whichever statue I bow down to. And every time I come across any kind of claim that goes on to say that the one who sexually violated me the most was Paramjeet or Nivali or Vishnu. These are the names of these three people, these three priests who treated me as a voodoo doll to get me married to a man. They kind of trigger, these claims inside. Since I don't talk, since I'm just reciting Gayatri mantra, every kind of inner consciousness that I'm going through, that kind of becomes a dialogue to the statue in front, and they kind of hear it as if I'm speaking through my tongue, but I'm not speaking it. I'm just reciting my Gayatri mantra. And every time any of my thought is basically heard by the statue, and this kind of a thought that, God, I was abused, and I was taken for a ride like this by these people, as as a retaliation to it, or as a consequence, or as an act of anger, whichever animal is around me will be put in extreme pain. It'll be like, and they'll start shrieking and shouting and running around. And I've seen this mostly happening in monkeys, and now it feels like as if, the gods are basically talking to each other, and saying that, you are the one who can fix this. And every time, and this Vishnu, and the other one is Nivali, the temple where I got abused, where I was put through witchcraft. They have three statues. On the right, on the extreme right, is Hanumanji, and in front of that Hanumanji statue sit down two priests. Uh, they've got a certain time to sit over there. Nivali and Vishnu, they're called. They do all the jhara. While on the extreme left is Kali Mata's statue, and in front sits the psychic, who remains closed eyes and will do and will be in samadhi or meditation all the time, and will be talking to people and envisioning everything that he can about them. And it can be a lie as well. It cannot be a lie as well. It's completely luck based, and it's almost like a bet. And you want to believe it, you believe it. You don't want to believe it, you don't come in all of that. But in case, if that psychic is basically lust stricken, or any kind of defilement stricken to you, then he'll do a lot of black magic on you to have you come there and repeat all of that, and help him keep his faith in whatever belief he is putting. So that has and this happened to me, and that kind of exposed me a lot of their ill-stricken and ill-will limitations to the national security of the country, and what all they've been basically reading wrong in the name of faith, and doing wrong in the name of faith, and what kind of misogyny and sexism and patriarchy they basically run over. It's they're all settled in a village in Himachal, and it is a curse-stricken area. So my parents now, they don't believe in all of this, because I mean they don't take any accountability that they, ever visited with such thoughts. But if you bring them to the court and if somebody is there to interrogate them, right? I have spoken to Human Rights Commission over it. They called me mentally ill without any taking my without taking any of my tests or any of my um, you know examining me anyhow, and I had to put my medical records absolutely clean and fine, stating that I've been defamed and I need somebody to interrogate these men clearly about their intentions, so that they can be recognized as pedophiles. Second, what all have they been doing to the Hindu faith as a Katsa community, that shall be exposed. And third, on the spiritual realms, what kind of animal abuse are they hiding, and why are they not chanting or reciting verses or mantras to cut through their evil to the faces of gods, of the Hindu gods, and stop the animal abuse as you know as a tranquilizing trigger by the gods every time I drag these men to the temples, because they've become shadow selves within my body, and they go on to be violating me everywhere that I go, and don't let any of the pujas also become true, and neither am I. Yeah, and because of them, I've escaped 12 murder attempts by now, all first degree, and then apart from that, psychological and professional abuse is different. So, but keeping all the concern aside, my only point of focus at the moment was the animal abuse. The animal abuse that I've observed because of my psychic ability, since I've been inflicted a lot of astral tools up my rectum, and my third eye has been over violated because of that, and I can beyond schizophrenia, beyond anybody. Uh, there's a state of consciousness called pathological empath. Due to that, I can see through, read through, and observe, and see through and read through any beings, most of the beings, basically their current desire and intention, or their pain, or their inner consciousness. And every time in any of the temples back in Shani, for example Shani Mandir, I've been, for my own cleansing on my own, I've been going there only, doing all my prayers and stuff. So there, every time I go, and the gods over there, they keep expecting me to go to get somebody efficient for your case, and be through all of this abuse that you're going through, because the mothers there. Now when I talk about the mothers, then I talk about fathers also. I talk about all the gods that are there in the Hindu faith. They go extremely violent in in disturbing, destroying, and destroying these three priests. And every time there's a lie to their face, they trigger the animals with a lot of shocks, and suddenly and every time these men try to talk through me to the gods, and every time they lie, uh, the monkeys will be put in a lot of pain, or the bulls around, if there's any bull or a cow around, they'll be put in a lot of pain. There'll be a sudden dementia in their body, and that dementia will cause them an accident. I've seen all of this happening a lot, and that's why I wanted to request you that if at all there is a space, there's a little space in your zoo, and if you can pick these monkeys up from CP. There are a lot of monkeys, and some extremely injured. They'll fight with each other like they've never. It doesn't feel like there's a tangent for them to fight. It feels like they're suddenly triggered over any random thing and are fighting each other. I've seen babies of monkeys being, you know every time I'm praying, and one of these voices basically will try talking to the statue in front, and I know the kind of sound, the kind of voice these three priests have. So every time I'll hear them through my body talking to the statue, and if they talk anything derogatory, those monkeys will be put those monkeys will be triggered with pain and shock in their body. And I felt that pain, I felt that pain, I felt that shock, I felt that spike in my body. For 10 years I've been dealing with it, so I know the kind of abuse they go through. And it's all a lesson to these priests only, that my silence is nothing but a huge ache to every god that has been dying to murder them right on their faces. But since I don't have a gun in my hand, or since I am not being supported by my parents because I'm gay, and all of these things, and my entire decade has been wasted in spite of my professional holding that I have. And now I can't get out of the country to a country which is which is all homophobia free. So yes, every time. And since the abuse, or the intensity, or the degree of the abuse on me has been so much, that even the courts are I don't know, they feel like enjoying me, to be taking me for a ride. The way I've been harrowed here and there, and these temples are the only places where I can be expecting silence without any derogation in my ear. And in my deepest of the prayers, when I bow down, and when these shadows start talking through my body, as if an evil is talking through, you know uh, the amount of pain I'm in, or the kind of the nature of abuse I'm in, when all of that is basically put through these animals, then it kind of forces me to perceive uh, these men as nothing but pure subjects of first degree murder attempts, first degree murders only. I mean, they should be given some extreme violence, so that they can be honest about how are they triggering the gods to abuse animals, just to make sure that there is the invisible world that you cannot see, which the gods only hold the power over, is and priests, not just the priest, but even a layman understand what form of god basically saves them when death comes onto their face. you know that authority, when they start violating, and when they start abusing, or when they start taking humans for a ride, how or in what manner does it turn into an actual haunting, is a kind of a lesson for me as well, to I think uh, expect, or wake people up about, and help at least the animals, or the little pets, or my own pet died of the same abuse. My pet committed suicide out of separation anxiety. He was a healthy dachshund, and suddenly when I started taking a legal course over this entire thing, they killed my pet. And they killed my pet a day before my mom's birthday. And I remember the day he died, I was at the Supreme Court trying to learn how to file a writ, and I was coming back uh, uh, as an episode of auditory hallucination. The one priest who abused me the most, he went on to say that, Vandana, I've got a gift for you. My mother's name is Vandana. I've got a gift for you. Wait until you reach home. And my mom was also not at home. My parents were not at home. They were out somewhere, and I don't know. So when I reached home, my dog was dead. He was fallen into the shaft, and he said that, and I remember very clearly the priest saying that, Vandana, I've left you a gift. Happy birthday. And when I reached, my dog was dead. So, you know, this is what he did. Then, post this, when I started going to Shiny Temple to clean myself, to cleanse my aura, I realized that all the statues were basically treating the shadow selves of the three men not leaving my body, as convicts, and them as the trial orders, as a courthouse. and they started, making them confess everything that was going on. And I would hear voices of these three men talking through me, and every time they'd lie, or every time any of them would lie, uh, all the statues of all the matas over there, like Kali Mata, Vaishno Mata, Saraswati Mata, and all of these, and Shani Bhagwan, and all of these, and Krishna, Radha, and everyone that you'd find, they all would trigger pain in the monkeys. And over that, I'll be silent. Like, I'll open my eyes and I'll look at the monkeys, and I'll realize that it's the same kind of same kind of pain that I've been through. And I'll breathe a bit over it, and then I'll start whistling. I'll start whistling, and I'll start humming something, and I'll start looking at monkeys. And every time I'll start whistling and looking at monkeys, and do something like this, like, I don't know, maybe some creating some kind of energy which is as warm as which is as warm as possible, like some kind of balm to uh, probably take through the pain within the body of those monkeys, or everything that's being abused. I'll start doing all of that, and I'll start extracting. Like, for example, I'll start doing this the moment I'll learn, someone being abused. So, to calm the monkeys down and to stop the fight and to stop the pain inside their bodies, I'll start rubbing my fingers as if I'm putting a balm in their body, and start, whistling, so as if I'm, probably singing a lullaby, or easing their brain out of the pain and all of that. All the monkeys will sit down in silence. Half of them will close their eyes, half of them will be caressing each other, half of them will be crying. I've seen all of this. So that's why I'm saying that. That's why I wanted to, request a little space in your zoo, and if possible, get all the monkeys from CP at least be picked up, and be rehabilitated in a safe space, and be given a natural, a natural habitat than human-stricken, uh, you know, human-stricken space where, in the name of faith, they are violated, and they roam around injured, bleeding, and in cold of Delhi, where they can't even heal quickly, and every day every day they're fighting. There is no sun on their wounds. There is nothing that can put warmth to their coarse wounded areas. They turned into stone areas and all of these. So yeah, this is what my request is, and my number is 920593469 8700543694. My email ID is surabhi_raut@ymail.com. You are requested to kindly reach out to me, and or reach out to senior authorities, or anybody who does not go through a sense of lobby, and holds some kind of I don't know, some kind of manipulation over any kind of halt, and get these monkeys at least out back in the wildlife, and in the zoo, and also pick up the cows and the bulls as well, if possible. I've seen cows and bulls also being manipulated in a lot of ways. I've seen some extremely thirsty cows and bulls, and every time I'd get them water, sometimes the the kind of denial they'll have to my offering, and then uh, making me realize that they've just been manipulated by one of the priests, who because of the mantra and because of the psychic abilities, can manipulate the inner consciousness of a particular person. How they'll appear as something, uh, you know uh, yeah, basically seeing the inner consciousness as some kind of a character, and witnessing a judgment over it, than basic first degree, uh, you know, cognizance to their current reality, or probably some kind of an effort or help to their current reality is what I'm kind of like getting helplessly intensed over. And just to make sure that I don't have to see much more accidents coming across as an active animal abuse, or probably the spiritual consequence of lying to a certain faith and doing so much in the name of abuse to a human, and then expecting some sense of authority against the against the against the against the holding of a certain wisdom, against the hold of a certain wisdom on a certain number, is what I expect. You know, not to turn into any major accident or an event to be predicted by someone and then manipulate a certain sect over it, and then make the entire planet a victim of no peace or no, I don't know what more destruction or extra destruction it can turn into. Just as we say that do not perceive gods with violence, or defile realities or defile soul. So keep in wishing to keep a certain sense of morality and self-respect over it. I'd respect you. I'd request you to kindly get somebody to pick the monkeys up from CP and have them be rehabilitated.